Have you ever wondered if the voice you hear in your mind during prayer is truly God speaking to you? And if I told you that your mind holds the key to unlocking divine answers, a hidden power that few are aware of, capable of transforming your reality? This video invites you on a journey to discover how God communicates with us through our minds, a revelation that could change your life forever. Imagine the possibilities of tapping into this divine connection. Could it be that the answers you've been seeking have been within you all along, waiting for you to recognize them? Today, we'll explore the mysterious ways God uses our minds to reveal His will and answer our prayers. There's a profound secret embedded in the Scriptures, a divine wisdom that, once unlocked, will illuminate your path and guide you through life's challenges. Where do you find God in the silence of your thoughts? What is the hidden message waiting to be discovered? In the next few minutes, you'll learn about the powerful connection between your mind and God's voice. Through biblical stories and teachings, we'll uncover the profound truths about how God speaks to us, even in the quietest corners of our consciousness. By the end of this journey, you'll understand that there's a divine purpose in every thought, and that your mind is a sacred space where God plants seeds of wisdom and guidance. Before we dive into this study, I encourage you to comment God's voice within as a declaration of your commitment to this journey of faith. Liking this video is more than just a click. It's a way to spread God's word, ensuring this message reaches those who need it most. Your engagement is vital. It's a testament to your faith and a beacon of hope for others. Feel proud to be part of this channel. Many people rely on this content for spiritual support, especially those without a church nearby. Your participation is crucial. Remember, today's penultimate teaching might just hold the key to unlocking a blessing in your life. Now, let's begin this transformative study. As we embark on this journey, let us delve into the story of Elijah, a prophet whose life vividly illustrates how God speaks through our minds. Elijah was a man of immense faith, yet he experienced moments of profound doubt and fear. In 1 Kings 19, after a spectacular display of God's power against the prophets of Baal, Elijah finds himself fleeing for his life, consumed by fear and despair. He retreats to the wilderness, longing for relief from his overwhelming burdens. In his solitude, Elijah hears God's voice, not in the mighty wind, earthquake, or fire, but in a gentle whisper. This moment reveals that God's communication often comes in subtle, unexpected ways, resonating within our minds and hearts. It challenges us to quiet the noise of the world and listen for His still, small voice. How often do we miss God's guidance because we expect it to be loud and unmistakable? Elijah's experience teaches us that God often chooses to speak to us in the silence, through the thoughts and impressions that stir within our minds. It's a call to embrace stillness and reflection, creating space for divine whispers that can guide us in our daily lives. Reflect on your own journey. Are you attuned to the whispers of God in the quiet moments of your day? As we reflect on Elijah's story, consider the times in your life when you have felt overwhelmed and uncertain, longing for divine guidance. How did God speak to you in those moments? Perhaps through a thought, an intuition, or a sudden clarity of mind. This narrative encourages us to trust that God is always present, ready to speak to us in ways we might not expect. Elijah's journey reminds us that God's voice is not confined to grand displays, but often found in the gentle nudges and insights that arise in our minds. As you continue this exploration, remain open to the possibility that God is speaking to you, inviting you to listen with your heart and mind. Let Elijah's story inspire you to seek God's presence in the quiet moments, trusting that His guidance is always available. This is just the beginning of our exploration into how God answers our prayers through our minds, unlocking the divine wisdom that dwells within us. Let's journey next into the life of King Solomon, a figure renowned for his wisdom, a wisdom that was granted through divine communication. In 1 Kings 3, Solomon's story unfolds as he ascends to the throne of Israel, feeling the weight of responsibility upon his shoulders. In a dream, God appears to Solomon asking what he desires. Solomon, acknowledging his youth and inexperience, requests a discerning heart to govern his people wisely. This pivotal moment highlights a profound truth. God can answer our deepest prayers through the gifts he bestows upon our minds. Solomon's request for wisdom was not just a plea for knowledge, but for the ability to discern and lead with justice and understanding. God's response was to grant him unparalleled wisdom, illustrating that divine answers often come as enhancements to the abilities of our minds. Consider your own life. Have there been moments when you sought guidance or understanding, and suddenly clarity emerged? Perhaps a solution to a problem presented itself unexpectedly, or you felt a sense of peace about a decision. These experiences reflect the ways God can work through our minds, providing insight and understanding that surpass our natural capabilities. Solomon's wisdom became legendary, attracting leaders and scholars from far and wide, all seeking to learn from his God-given understanding. His story serves as a reminder that when we align our desires with God's will, He can magnify our capabilities, allowing us to fulfill our roles and responsibilities with grace and effectiveness. Reflect on how Solomon's story can inspire you to seek God's wisdom in your own life. Are there areas where you desire greater discernment or understanding? Open your heart and mind to the ways God might be answering your prayers, equipping you with the insights needed to navigate life's complexities. As we continue this journey, let Solomon's example encourage you to trust in the divine wisdom that God can impart to you. Whether through dreams, intuition, or newfound understanding, God is ready to equip your mind to fulfill His purposes. Embrace this possibility and remain attentive to the ways He might be speaking to you. Now let us turn to the story of Joseph, a man whose life was a testament to God's communication through dreams and visions. Found in Genesis, Joseph's journey is marked by divine revelations that come through his dreams, offering guidance and foresight that would shape the future of nations. As a young man, Joseph dreams of his brothers bowing to him, a vision that sparks jealousy and leads to his betrayal and sale into slavery. Despite the trials he faces, Joseph remains steadfast in his faith, trusting in the visions God has placed in his mind. These dreams are not merely figments of imagination, but divine messages that guide Joseph through his journey. In Egypt, his ability to interpret dreams becomes his salvation, elevating him to a position of power as he interprets Pharaoh's dreams and prepares the nation for years of famine. Joseph's story underscores the importance of being open to the ways God communicates through our subconscious mind. Dreams can be a powerful medium through which God reveals His plans and guidance, providing clarity and direction when we least expect it. Are there dreams or visions in your life that you feel might carry a deeper meaning or message from God? Reflect on Joseph's unwavering trust in the dreams God gave him, even when they seemed impossible. His faith in these divine communications allowed him to rise above his circumstances, ultimately fulfilling God's plan for his life. Joseph's story challenges us to pay attention to the dreams and insights that stir within us, considering how they might be God's way of guiding us. Consider how God might be using your dreams to communicate with you. Are there recurring themes or messages that you feel drawn to explore? Embrace the possibility that God is speaking to you through these visions, offering insight and guidance for your journey. As we reflect on Joseph's journey, let his example inspire you to trust in the dreams and visions God places in your mind. Whether they come as vivid dreams or subtle insights, remain open to the ways God might be directing your path. Trust that he has a plan for you, one that can be revealed through the dreams he places in your heart and mind. Let us now turn to the story of the Apostle Paul, whose transformation is a powerful testament to how God answers prayers through the renewal of the mind. In the New Testament, Paul, originally known as Saul, is a fervent persecutor of Christians. However, his encounter with Christ on the road to Damascus becomes a turning point, leading to a profound transformation in his mind and heart. In Acts 9, we see Saul's journey interrupted by a blinding light and the voice of Jesus asking, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" This encounter is not just a physical experience, but a mental and spiritual awakening that reshapes Saul's entire perspective. Through divine intervention, Saul's mind is renewed, and he becomes Paul, a devoted apostle who spreads the gospel. With unparalleled zeal, Paul's story illustrates the transformative power of God's touch upon the mind. It shows us that God can answer our prayers for change by renewing our thoughts, attitudes, and perceptions. Consider the areas in your life where you long for transformation or a fresh perspective. Could it be that God is inviting you to experience a renewed mind, aligning your thoughts with His will? Reflect on Paul's transformation and the impact it had on his life and ministry. His renewed mind allowed him to see the world through the lens of Christ's love and grace, empowering him to fulfill his divine calling. This narrative encourages us to seek God's renewing touch upon our minds, trusting that He can transform us from the inside out. Romans 12:2 captures this essence perfectly. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Paul's message speaks directly to us, urging us to embrace the renewal that God offers, allowing us to discern His good and perfect will. As you ponder Paul's journey, consider how God might be calling you to a renewed mind. Are there old patterns of thought that need to be transformed? Open your heart to the possibility that God is ready to answer your prayers for change through the renewal of your mind. Allow His Spirit to work within you, shaping your thoughts and attitudes to reflect His love and purpose. As we continue this exploration, let Paul's example inspire you to seek a renewed mind, trusting that God is always at work, transforming and guiding you to fulfill His divine purpose. Let's now delve into the story of Gideon, a man whose journey illustrates how God can answer our prayers through the clarity and courage He instills in our minds. Gideon's narrative, found in Judges 6-7, begins with fear and doubt. He is a young man from the weakest clan in Israel, hiding from the Midianites who oppress his people. Yet God calls him to be a mighty warrior, a judge to deliver Israel from its enemies. Initially, Gideon questions God's choice, doubting his own abilities and seeking signs to confirm God's will. Through a series of divine encounters, God patiently reassures Gideon, instilling confidence and clarity in his mind. This transformation from doubt to faith is a powerful testament to how God can answer our prayers for guidance and strength by illuminating our minds with His truth. Consider the moments in your life when you have felt overwhelmed by doubt or fear, unsure of the path ahead. Gideon's story reminds us that God is patient and willing to meet us in our uncertainty, offering signs and reassurance to guide us. Are there areas in your life where you seek clarity or confirmation of God's will? Gideon's journey teaches us that God often answers our prayers not by changing our circumstances, but by changing our perspective. When we align our minds with His truth, we find the courage to step into the roles He has prepared for us. Reflect on the times when a shift in perspective allowed you to see a challenge as an opportunity or a fear as a call to faith. As Gideon gathers his army, God instructs him to reduce their numbers drastically, emphasizing that victory will come not by human strength, but by divine intervention. This act of faith, born from a renewed mind, leads to an extraordinary victory against overwhelming odds. Gideon's story encourages us to trust in God's power, knowing that He can accomplish great things through us when we allow Him to work through our minds. Reflect on how Gideon's example can inspire you to seek God's clarity and courage in your own life. Are you willing to trust in His guidance even when it defies conventional wisdom? Embrace the possibility that God is ready to answer your prayers by equipping you with the clarity and courage needed to fulfill His plans. As we continue, let Gideon's story encourage you to open your mind to God's possibilities, trusting that He is always at work, transforming your fears into faith and your doubts into confidence. As we continue our exploration, let's immerse ourselves in the story of Daniel, a figure renowned for his unwavering faith and the remarkable way God communicated with him through visions and dreams. Daniel's life, as chronicled in the book of Daniel, is a testament to the power of a mind attuned to God's voice, even amidst adversity. Daniel was taken captive to Babylon, a foreign land with foreign gods. Yet he remained steadfast in his devotion to the God of Israel. In Daniel 2, we find him faced with an impossible situation. King Nebuchadnezzar has had a disturbing dream and demands that his wise men not only interpret it, but also recount the dream itself, a seemingly impossible task. Failure to do so would result in death for all the wise men, including Daniel. In this critical moment, Daniel turns to God in prayer, seeking divine revelation. That night, God answers his prayers by revealing the king's dream and its interpretation in a vision. This divine insight not only saves Daniel and his companions, but also elevates him to a position of influence in the Babylonian court. Daniel's story highlights the profound ways God can answer our prayers through the insights and revelations He imparts to our minds. It encourages us to remain faithful and open to God's guidance, trusting that He can provide clarity and wisdom even in the most challenging circumstances. Have you ever experienced a moment of sudden insight or revelation that seemed to answer a pressing question or concern in your life? Reflect on Daniel's unwavering faith and his willingness to seek God's guidance through prayer and meditation. His example challenges us to cultivate a deep relationship with God, creating space for His voice to speak into our lives. Are there areas in your life where you need divine insight or understanding? How can you create an environment in your mind and heart that invites God's revelations? Daniel's ability to interpret dreams and visions was not just a gift, but a testament to his commitment to God, his willingness to listen, and his openness to divine communication. His story inspires us to remain receptive to the ways God might be speaking to us, whether through dreams, insights, or the gentle prompting of the Holy Spirit. As we reflect on Daniel's journey, consider how you can tune your mind to hear God's voice more clearly. What practices can you adopt to deepen your connection with God, allowing His wisdom to guide you? Embrace the possibility that God is ready to reveal His plans and purposes to you, equipping your mind with the knowledge and understanding needed to navigate life's challenges. As we move forward, let Daniel's story inspire you to seek God's wisdom and revelation, trusting that He is always ready to guide you, even in the most unexpected ways. Now let us turn to the story of the young Samuel, a narrative that beautifully illustrates how God can begin speaking to us through our minds from an early age. Samuel's journey, found in 1 Samuel 3, is a tale of awakening to God's call and learning to discern His voice amidst the silence of the night. Samuel was dedicated to the Lord by his mother Hannah and served under Eli the priest. One night, as Samuel lay sleeping in the temple, he heard a voice calling his name. Mistaking it for Eli, he ran to him, only to be sent back to bed. This happened 3 times before Eli realized that it was the Lord calling the boy. He instructed Samuel to respond, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." This story is a profound reminder of the importance of cultivating a listening heart, attuned to God's voice. Samuel's initial confusion highlights the learning process we all undergo as we discern God's voice amidst the myriad thoughts and noises of our minds. How often do we miss God's call because we mistake it for something mundane or overlook it entirely? Samuel's willingness to listen and respond became the foundation of his life as a prophet, through whom God would speak mightily to his people. Consider how God might be calling you, inviting you to listen more closely to his guidance. Are there moments in your life where you felt a nudge or heard a whisper that you suspect might be God reaching out to you? Reflect on Samuel's humble response and openness to God's call. His story encourages us to create a space of stillness and receptivity in our minds, allowing us to hear God's voice more clearly. It challenges us to be like Samuel, ready to say, "Speak, Lord," and to listen with an open heart. As you ponder Samuel's journey, consider the practices you can adopt to develop a more attuned heart and mind. How can you quiet the distractions around you to better hear God's voice? Perhaps through prayer, meditation, or simply spending time in reflection and solitude. Samuel's story is a testament to the power of a listening heart and mind, ready to receive God's word and act upon it. Let his example inspire you to cultivate a deeper connection with God, trusting that he is always speaking, ready to guide you in your journey. As we continue, let the story of Samuel encourage you to be attentive and responsive to God's call, trusting in his guidance and wisdom to lead you on the path he has set before you. Let us now reflect on the story of Nehemiah, a man whose heart and mind were deeply aligned with God's purpose, demonstrating how God can lead us through inspired thoughts and plans. Nehemiah's journey, found in the book of Nehemiah, begins with a deep burden for his people and the city of Jerusalem, whose walls lay in ruins. Nehemiah was a cupbearer to King Artaxerxes of Persia, a position of trust and influence. When he hears of Jerusalem's desolation, his heart is moved to rebuild the city's walls, a task that seems insurmountable. In Nehemiah 1:4, we see him turning to God in prayer, seeking guidance and strength. His response to this challenge is not impulsive action, but thoughtful reflection and strategic planning, rooted in prayer. God answers Nehemiah's prayers by granting him favor with the king, who not only allows him to return to Jerusalem, but also provides the resources needed for the task. This narrative highlights how God can work through our minds, inspiring us with plans and strategies that align with his divine will. Nehemiah's meticulous planning and leadership showcase a mind attuned to God's guidance, capable of transforming divine vision into reality. Reflect on the moments in your life where you have felt divinely inspired to take on a challenge or pursue a calling. How did God guide your thoughts and plans? Nehemiah's story reminds us that God often answers our prayers by equipping us with the wisdom and clarity needed to fulfill his purposes. Nehemiah's leadership was marked by prayerful planning and decisive action. Despite opposition and obstacles, he remained steadfast, trusting that God's hand was upon him. His example encourages us to seek God's guidance not only in our prayers, but also in our plans and actions. Are there areas in your life where you need to align your plans with God's purpose? How can you invite God to inspire your thoughts and strategies? As you contemplate Nehemiah's journey, consider how you can cultivate a mind open to God's inspiration, ready to act on the visions and plans he places within you. Embrace the possibility that God is ready to guide you through the challenges you face, providing the insight and resources needed to fulfill his plans. Nehemiah's story is a testament to the power of aligning our minds and hearts with God's will, trusting in his guidance to lead us through even the most daunting tasks. Let his example inspire you to seek God's presence in your thoughts and plans, knowing that he is always ready to lead you on the path to fulfillment and success. As we conclude this exploration into how God answers our prayers through our minds, let's take a moment to reflect on the profound insights we've gained from the stories of Elijah, Solomon, Joseph, Paul, Gideon, Daniel, Samuel, and Nehemiah. Each narrative has enriched our understanding of the diverse ways God communicates with us, emphasizing the importance of cultivating a receptive mind and heart. Throughout these stories, a common thread emerges. God's voice often comes in subtle, unexpected ways, whether through dreams, divine inspiration, or the gentle whisper of his Spirit. Our task is to remain open and attentive, creating space for his guidance to manifest in our thoughts and actions. How can we continue to nurture this openness in our daily lives, ensuring that we remain in tune with God's voice? As we reflect on these narratives, we're reminded that God's communication is not limited to grand gestures, but often found in the quiet moments of reflection and prayer. Our minds are sacred spaces where God plants seeds of wisdom, clarity, and courage, equipping us to navigate the complexities of life. Are there practices you can incorporate into your routine to enhance your ability to hear and respond to God's voice? Consider the transformative power of aligning our thoughts with God's will, as demonstrated by the figures we've studied. Whether it's through a renewed mind like Paul's, the clarity of vision like Nehemiah's, or the courage of Gideon, God is always ready to equip us for the journey ahead. Embrace the possibility that God is speaking to you, ready to answer your prayers through the thoughts and insights he imparts. As you carry these lessons forward, remember that your mind is a powerful tool for divine communication. Trust in God's presence, knowing that he is always near, ready to guide you. With wisdom and love, whether in moments of silence, through dreams or inspired thoughts, God's voice is ever present, inviting you to listen and respond. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery. May these insights inspire you to deepen your connection with God, embracing the transformative power of his voice within your mind. As you go forth, may you find peace and purpose in knowing that God is always speaking, guiding you toward his divine plan for your life. Sure, here is the continuation in English. As we carry forward the lessons from these stories, it's essential to remember that God's communication with us isn't just a one-time event, but an ongoing journey of spiritual discovery and growth. God invites us to develop an intimate and continuous relationship with him, where our minds are always open to receiving his guidance and wisdom. Consider setting aside moments in your day for meditation and prayer, creating a quiet space where you can connect with God and listen for his voice. These moments of stillness can be incredibly powerful, allowing you to tune into the thoughts and insights he wishes to share. Additionally, strive to cultivate an attitude of gratitude and openness in all areas of your life. By recognizing the many ways God works through our minds, we can develop a heightened sensitivity to his presence and purpose in our daily lives. Whether through dreams, sudden inspirations, or simply a sense of peace and understanding, trust that God is continually speaking to you. He desires to guide you toward a fulfilling and meaningful life where your thoughts and actions align with his love and truth. May these stories and reflections inspire you to explore more deeply the relationship between your mind and God's voice. In doing so, you'll find that you're not only listening to God, but also actively participating in his work in the world. Thank you for embarking on this journey of spiritual discovery. May you continue to find peace, purpose, and direction as you deepen your relationship with God and allow his voice to guide every aspect of your life.